IGAD's Conflict Early Warning and Response Mechanism, otherwise known as CWARN, has recently launched its first phase of a Rapid Response Fund program tasked with supporting local-level conflict mitigation initiatives across the IGAD region. My guests today are Migbaru Ayalu, who is the Director General of Conflict Early Warning and Early Response at the Ministry of Peace, and Jacob Chaka, Response Coordinator of CWARN at IGAD. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our weekly Addis Dialogue with Itam Shifaralago. We'll be spending some time to stay with us. Migbaru and Jacob, a very warm welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
CWARN has recently launched its first phase of Rapid Response Fund program in Kenya. Let's first talk about that.
CWARN as a mechanism with its development partners has established a tool called Rapid Response Fund, which supports the conflict prevention initiatives in member states. The first phase was from 2009 to 2017, and we spent around 1.8 million US dollars in member states, in supporting member states initiative. This one is supported by, the second phase is supported by EU Trust Fund, and it's around 3 million euros.
It is a response mechanism. That early warning system is more of conflict management and control and prevention. Knowing potential conflicts that may raise to violent conflicts need to have a rapid response, for which this rapid response fund is about to respond for it, in which Ethiopia is also expected to benefit from it, being one of the strong members of the IGAD countries, in which CWARN is coming with.
I've learned that you've secured 3 million euros for national and subnational peace structures toward local peace initiatives. How effectively are you going to use these resources?
This fund will be utilized in two ways. One is addressing conflict prevention, management and resolution in member states and sub-regions. And secondly, building the capacity of local peace structures, like local peace committees, elders, CBOs, faith-based organizations who are working in peace building and conflict resolution. To this end, we have already developed a standard operating procedure, and we have developed a lot of formats that need to be used, and hopefully that will help us to effectively utilize these resources.
We have a structure in place, and CWAR has given us already orientation, in which the Ministry of Peace, in cooperation with regional peace and security offices and civil society organizations, and as well as community-based organizations and NGOs, have taken part in the orientation and training how we are going to utilize this fund in a given time. In fact, from the orientation we have, the secured fund is not only for Ethiopia, it's all for IGAD member countries, in which Ethiopia needs to play her own role to have her fair share. That's possible with active involvement of civil society organizations, community-based organizations, and NGOs would apply for the fund, in which Ministry of Peace, the expertise will support their application, and which Ministry of Foreign Affairs is also part in, and Ethiopian civil societies are also active. Therefore, with the setup and with the guidance we are receiving from the CWAR experts, we are almost equipped to be able to use this fund effectively in a given time.
Let's also talk about the funds that you've already received. How effectively have you used the resources for the very purposes that they've been given? Let me begin with Migbaru.
Definitely. For me, it's my first time to have this exposure, and this setup is about to be strengthened according to the guidance we received. Therefore, the guidance, the procedures, and the application mechanisms looks very much clear enough, and experts have already taken part in. Therefore, as a response mechanism, we have had a lot of shortages, how to respond to the needs that has been arised, in conflict early warning information, that we need to respond quickly and efficiently in time. Some of them are in creating, dialogue among communities, and as well as appraising and appreciating the local conflict resolution mechanisms that we can use it, and as well we will have a lot of engagement with communities, with the support of this fund, and capacity building mechanism will be installed with local peace committees and elders that would help us in prevention of conflicts and management, and as well as resolution and conflict resolution mechanism. Therefore, the feedback we have from participated civil societies and NGOs and elders, and as well as regional peace officers, this is the most important kind of fund that's to the level of their expectation, that can be used properly.
Have you encountered any challenges in using the funds that you've received so far?
Yes, we have a couple of challenges. That's why we have developed a standard operating procedure to, mitigate those challenges. One of the challenges was this is a rapid response fund, so it has to reach the member states as rapid as it should be. And because of the procedures and its rapidness is somewhat slow. So that's why now what we are doing is, for emergency we will put, actually we did that last time also, now we will put $10,000 in member states account, which is created for this purpose. So the member state, when there is a need, they will write a one-pager concept note and then ask our director, who will approve it, and then they will execute the project and then send the accountability document, so that it made it very smooth and seamless.
As you know, the East African region is volatile and also restive, if you like, with the intermittent conflicts popping up here and there. How is the Rapid Response Fund program going to deal with such unexpected issues and such conflicts?
Yeah, in fact, the CWARN has a mechanism, to have early warning information system among all the IGAD member countries. So the CWARN system is a system whereby potential conflicts can be detected ahead of time. And as you know, it's not only conflict, and also there is also a good relationship, in cross borders that encourages us, to live with. And at some time, when there is a potential conflict doesn't mean it's a negative. Conflict is not always negative. It's a difference in opinion and choice. But that conflict not to grow into a violent conflict, there is always a mechanism to follow up. And this fund will help us, to create a platform, as I told you, a dialogue among cross-border communities to strengthen the relationships they have already, in terms of trade, in terms of cultural exchange. And community-community relationship is expected to be maintained and to stay normal. And if there is any conflict that may arise from resource competition, like in a water well or in grazing land, that can easily be handled with the engagement of the local peace communities and the elders, in which this fund will help us, to facilitate such kind of relationship and communication among communities. Therefore, for us, we believe that this is the most important fund that we can easily engage with.
The Rapid Response Fund program, in cases of conflicts, unexpected conflicts, how is it going to deal with such issues in a cost-effective manner, if you like?
Interesting question. Peace building is a very tricky one. You need to respond as quickly as possible. bring people, wearing people together in a rapid manner. To do that, as I said earlier, we have $10,000, which is replenishable at the member states level. They can only write one pager, and then the fund is available. Now, how can they do that in an effective way? The first thing is, in conflict prevention, is discussion, dialogue. People need to come together to discuss, to understand what is the problem. So that's why we say RRF plays a catalytic role in conflict prevention.
Let's also talk about the sixth national election that Ethiopia is gearing up to hold recently. How is your organization going to stand by the government of Ethiopia, especially in helping the government or the country conduct peaceful election?
Just last week, Atomigawar was also part of it, and he alluded to C1 Reporter, which is a data-based conflict information collection. And we have already selected several field monitors who will be monitoring the situation in every corner of the country. And then that is available to decision makers right away, because it's a database and then now web-based. So we have already trained around, how many was?
There are about
30 field monitors who will support us in early detecting any conflict issues of the upcoming Ethiopian election.
Would you like to?
Well, basically, the government has a fundamental structure that follows up potential conflicts, and hotspot areas have been identified. And there is a traditional kind of information exchange system, and there is also a web-based follow-up system. On top of that, IGAD, a C1 system, has been introduced to our system as well. And our officers are trained, and civil societies have also been trained together. It is a very unique when it comes to civil society and government are coming into a platform to work together on a potential conflict situation identification mechanism. Therefore, this web will help us, to know what's happening where, at what time, and the scale of the situation, what is, and the recommendation as well, what action needs to be given quickly. Therefore, we are about to engage in it, and we will use it effectively and efficiently. This will help us to respond quickly so that any conflict can be prevented ahead of time. If there, it could be managed. If not, it could be controlled. Therefore, IGAD, working with Siwero, it's really putting a substantial support for the government to detect conflicts for better management in time.
What's your suggestion to the leaders in the region so that Ethiopia will hold peaceful elections to contribute share towards the peace process in the coming election?
Yeah, our leaders need to understand the community, because communities have been through conflicts throughout their lives. And it's not new. So what we need to do is to understand, to listen them, and then give them a rapid response or rapid solution to what they are asking for. So I think in Amharic there is a say which is "Saikatal Bekital." So it's a way where you can prevent conflict from getting to violence by just discussing and addressing and talking to people. So I think that's the main message I would give to our leaders.
The Ministry of Peace is contributing a share towards peace and security, not only in Ethiopia, but also in the region. In this regard, what's the ministry currently doing?
Well, Ministry of Peace, based on the vested interest that has been given by proclamation, what to execute. Peace building is the most important responsibility, in which number of dialogues at national level has been going on so as to create a consensus among many issues in the country, which includes grassroots level community discussion dialogues, professional dialogues, and as well as politician and political party dialogues that has been going on. And when it comes to improving and encouraging the federal system in Ethiopia has also been the responsibility of Ministry of Peace, in which regional governments have been taking part for a fair share in the economy and in the political space. And the other part is law enforcement, in which the Ministry of Peace is working, so that the government security structure, law enforcement structure has been operational fully, so as to make things right. And of course, the reform has already brought a lot of advantages for Ethiopian people to participate in many of national issues. Of course, upcoming election is one of the most important events that would happen. So, as you know, the Abiy government has already promised that there will be a free and fair election, which is a very grand move that Ethiopia is embarked. Though we have been in challenge with so many factors, but it's a definite commitment that the Abiy government has shown to run this election. This election will be free and fair, and the whole peace mechanism, the security mechanism, fully will be engaged in to keep this election process to go smooth and healthy, and each and every Ethiopian citizen and international communities have also responsibility to join this election to be peaceful and to happen as scheduled.
One of the potential challenges of peace funding is it ironically encourages conflict. So have you thought about such issues, and what are you going to do?
Well, in fact, you know, why peace is becoming an expensive commodity is a question. You know, peace has been a given public good that should exist, you know, like in the air, like in a forest, like an ocean. But now, the entrepreneurs, you know, that make money out of disturbance of a peace, they are really, you find them in the social media, in the mainstream media, in making violence to be an obvious business-making venture, for which the Ethiopian people have already developed a consciousness, you know, to identify who is for peace and who is not. And election is also an opportunity for Ethiopian people with all the lesson we have had. They know who is going for peace and who is really to benefit and address the issue of unemployment, the issue of, you know, building peace, the issue of development ventures, and who has the capacity to do that, and who is really a peace builder and who is really peace spoiler are easily be identified. So I don't think that these conflict entrepreneurs will have a space this time, because the consciousness of Ethiopian people have grown up, and opposition political parties will come up, obviously, what they are going to do for the public, and therefore the people will listen and identify the best that would address their interest. In fact, having said that, each and every Ethiopian citizen is responsible to keep peace and to see a peaceful country. And at the same time, government right is also there with obligation to keep safety and security of each and every Ethiopian citizen everywhere. So the security structure and the government apparatus is in place effectively and efficiently to protect its own people and its own territory. Therefore, I hope that in election here and there could be issues, but it will be well prevented, if not protected as well. It will be well managed.
It's a very important dilemma where if you are a peacemaker, you always face those challenges. Nothing is without challenge. as a peace builder, you need to understand the situation on the ground and then make a concerted decision to engage, fully engage the stakeholders. I think discussion, coming together, and dialogue will help to mitigate those challenges, the one we were saying. Because as a peace builder, you will always see that the spoilers will take advantage of whatever mistake you make. So what we need to do is to create awareness at the community level that if peace prevails, development will come. Without peace, there is no development. And also what we always suggest is, in order to do a development work, you have to do no harm. We need to have a conflict sensitivity approach. You need to understand what people need and what makes them feel, disfranchised. So those are the things we need to look into and to make those straight.
Okay, let's also talk about IGAD. Many say that other regional blocs on the continent are better or more active, if you like, compared to the one in the East African region. What's your take on that?
This is a big issue. But, in this region we have, East Africa region, we have East African Community and IGAD as a regional economic communities. We all have our comparative advantage. And we all have our weaknesses. Having said that, IGAD has a strong capability in peace building. We are the first in Africa and even in the continent to have a conflict early warning and response mechanism. We're the first to develop a web-based conflict prevention and conflict analysis tool, which was also taken up by other regional economic commissions and continental early warning. So we have our own niche, and one of it is the peace and security.
The IGAD member countries, by their geopolitical position, it's always a hot area, close to Red Sea politics, the peninsula's politics. It's always hot. However, I feel that being Ethiopia is also part and parcel and playing a significant role in strengthening IGAD. I see that IGAD is doing well. In fact, there may be a lot to do, but with all its endeavors so far, on the parts that I know, with SEWER and other sections, it's functioning well. But still there may be a need to strengthen much better that IGAD can do with the commitment and the contribution of member states. Therefore, more of a regional economy, regional politics, regional peace and security, exchange of information, and keeping the region peaceful is one of the most important tasks that IGAD need to work on, and I feel it can be strengthened further. But so far, I feel that it is fine, doing fine.
All right, Mr. Jacob and Mr. Megbaru, thank you so much for your perspectives.
Thank you for engaging us.
Thank you.
Well, the viewers, with that, we come to the end of this program, and thanks a lot for your company so far. Until I see you with another program, it's goodbye from me, Shifarao Lako. Stay safe and take care.